Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our segment of Meet the Reader for the Sedona Psychics podcast here in Sedona, Arizona. I'm Emma, and today I have with me Miss Stephanie. Say hi, Miss
Hello,
Stephanie,
I'm so
everybody.
happy to be here.
Well, Stephanie, we are excited to have you here today with us. And again, like everybody else, we're just going to be kind of asking you some questions, some personal questions, things about your modalities, the things that you offer here at the Crystal Magic Psychic Center as well. And again, a little bit more about you. I almost want to say not personal, but a little personal. So, my dear, how are you feeling today?
I am so excited. I'm a little nervous because I usually don't talk about myself a whole lot. So I'm really excited about this opportunity. Thank
Awesome.
you.
I'm glad that you're here with us today. What besides being nervous, what's the energy for you coming into this conversation?
I'm really excited.
Awesome. All right, guys, you see that? Stephanie's excited, so let's get started. So the first few questions I'm going to be asking you is going to be more about your path, your spiritual journey, and kind of how you got to where you are today with your spiritual path. So can you share a little bit about your spiritual journey and how did the path first begin for you? How did it find you?
So I started with healthcare back in when I was really young. And through healthcare and making that connection with people really brightened up and lightened up for me that there is just so much more here than meets the eye.
Right.
And I wanted more of it. Like I wanted to be able to experience spirit for myself. And once I was able to start experiencing it for me, I wanted to be able to share it with other people because it's just been so magical in so many ways.
That's awesome. So pretty much going from the medical field to the spirituality aspect, you kind of already had that healer in you, pretty
Yeah.
much.
That and with the Reiki training,
Oh,
that really helped to allow me to see that energy is real.
yeah, it is.
It's
Yep,
a
yep.
very real thing, and why aren't we accessing it? Why aren't we doing more with it? And in traditional healthcare, I'm not always able to share that.
Right,
So
right.
to be able to be in such an environment where it's not weird that I walk around with 15 crystals in my pocket feels really, really good.
Right. That's awesome. Was there a moment when you realized this was more than just an interest, it was more of your calling?
So the first time I heard Abraham Hicks,
Okay. He's been coming up a lot with these interviews, I'm just gonna say.
um, and I think it's a really easy place for people to start exploring a spiritual path because they break it down into life stories that somewhat are relatable.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if you can take that and figure out how to start applying it to your own life, that's where the magic has.
Yes. Work the magic, baby. Work it. Work
Absolutely.
it. So I'm gonna guess besides Abraham Hicks, who or what were some of the biggest teachers or influences along your spiritual path?
Dolores Cannon,
Oh, she's a good one.
I
Yeah.
really appreciate all of her knowledge that she does with the quantum hypnosis
Mhm.
and experiencing the galactics. And yeah, that's kind of where my heart is.
Awesome. I love it. And I think her daughter, I think her daughter is actually still doing a lot of the work for
Yes.
her,
Yes, she
and
is.
getting a lot deeper into it, which I think is really cool. So like keeping it in the generational family. I love that. Love it, love it. I know I say that a lot, guys, but I do. I love a lot of things. Two, what challenges did you face early on in your path, and how did you overcome those?
So a lot of it for me was around the fact that I didn't fit in.
You were the black sheep.
Yeah. Yeah, in a lot of different areas. Not only have I worked in healthcare, but I've had so many different jobs in my life.
Mhm.
And each job kind of taught me a different aspect of how do I make spirituality work for me.
Uh-huh.
So it's just been this really cool kaleidoscope of things that have happened that kind of shifted me. One, I'm trying to think if there was like a particular, and for me, it goes back to that first Abraham Hicks where it
Hmm.
was like, my God, it all makes sense now.
Light bulb moment.
Yeah, like spirituality repeated back to me in a way that made absolute sense. Like we are the creators of our reality, whether
Mhm.
we like it or not.
Yep.
And once I heard that, it was like, I totally get it now. It
Yeah.
just makes so much
It's
sense.
all about that perspective. And I always like to remind people too, thoughts are things.
Yes,
Thoughts become things.
very
And
much so.
especially if you are putting a lot of thought into something.
Yeah, good, bad, or indifferent. The
Right.
universe is going to reflect that back to us.
Exactly. Exactly. So guys, it's your thoughts. Thoughts become reality, thoughts become things. And if you're in a negative state of mind, then you're always going to be that. What has surprised you most about doing this work professionally?
Uh, the fact that I'm here. I mean, seriously, for me, 5 years ago, Sedona and reading full time wasn't even on my radar. That was still in my big wish list of things that I would love to have happen,
Hmm.
but didn't really, I personally, even though it was in my vortex of things that I wanted, didn't fully believe that it could happen for me. And so all of this has just been so transformative. I guess that's the best word I have for it.
All right. So getting the transformation itself out of
Yeah.
doing the work as well. Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to get on to the next set of questions that I have here for you. So this is going to pretty much go over your specialties and your style of reading, and the modalities that you use in your readings as well. So as of right now, where you're at in your spiritual career, what modalities do you specialize in right now?
So I am specializing in Reiki, which I absolutely love. I love working
Yes.
with energy, clearing out the chakras, whatever we need to do to get the energetic body back online.
Mhm.
Um, I also read tarot, I read oracle, I use dowsing rods, which are perfect for yes, no type
Mhm.
questions. I also do Akashic slash galactic art to help bring the messages through. And I use the paint as a medium, which is just really fluid, and we get some great images coming out of those pictures.
Yeah, and that's also a little something that a client can take home as well, kind of like as a
Yes.
keepsake as well.
Yes.
That's awesome. So you guys, she's got physical things you could take home. Okay. All right. So what draws you most to these types of tools?
So for me, Reiki has been the thing that I have worked with the longest, so it's what I'm most comfortable with. Tarot has been my friend for over 15 years. And even though I may not get the depth that some other readers are able to get during a reading, I give it as I see it.
Right.
And I try to temper that with compassion and understanding and even joy where it's appropriate,
Right. Yeah.
because there is so much in our day-to-day lives that is heavy and we don't want to deal with it. But if we can come into a place to be able to talk about what's going on, then we can start getting back into alignment with what it is that we're trying to bring in.
And that's a big word for this year too, is alignment. Alignment in all of the things that we're doing. So 100%. How would you describe your reading style in your own words?
So I would say my reading style is number one, it's very fluid. So if we're talking about one thing, but we want to ask about something else, it's no big deal to pick up the cards, reshuffle, and go from there. Again, I try to give it exactly as I'm seeing it with the cards. I'm trying to stretch my intuitive muscle just a little bit more so I'm not as reliant on the cards, but they are my tool. They're my friends.
Yeah.
It's how I get the messages that I need to get to whoever's sitting with me. And again, I try to temper that with compassion and love because, again, we never know what somebody else is going through.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Always gotta be mindful of the other people's energy during the sessions. I totally agree with that. Is there a type of client or question you feel especially called to help with?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I really enjoy reading for clients who are curious. Maybe you've never had a reading before and this is your first time coming in.
Uh-huh.
Um, Come in, sit down, get comfortable. Let's take a couple of breaths together. I go through a spiel, and it's not just for the client's benefit. It gives our energies a chance to interact, kind of set the tone for the room. And I like a room that feels open and expansive
Right.
so that that communication just flows and it's more like a conversation rather than me just sitting here going, okay, well, I see this, I see this, I see this, I see this.
Mhm.
I really like having an interactive conversation.
Okay. All right. What kind of energy do you hope people feel when they leave a session with you?
I hope that they feel lighter. I hope they feel more clear. Really, but the biggest thing is that they feel that they've been heard and seen.
Okay. I love that. And I think a lot of clients will like that as well too, not just going in and thinking that you're just pulling things out of your ass pretty much. So this is going to be kind of more of what clients can expect when they book with you and have a session with you as well. I find this one pretty interesting as well because everybody has their own little take on it. Everybody has their own different energy that they bring into the room as well. So I love hearing everybody's different perspectives of this as well. So kind of going back to you saying you liked working with people who like have never had a reading before. So for someone who has never had a reading before, what can they expect when they sit down with you on that session?
That I am going to work very hard to meet you where you are.
Okay.
Again, I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel like you can trust me because sometimes these readings, things come up that may get heavy. And so, if we can establish an open dialogue early on to be able to navigate some of those tougher cards if they come up, if we've already established that dialogue, I can walk somebody through a nine of swords, the death card, the tower
Mhm.
in a way that isn't scary. With so much of how psychic and tarot has been portrayed through the media, I feel like there's a lot of misrepresentation about how it actually works for each of us as an
Oh
individual.
yeah, 100%. 100%. I think we even covered that on one of our podcast episodes of, the media makes everything very grandeur,
Yes.
and not actually giving the explanation or the understanding of what we do and why we do it, or even how we do it.
Yeah, because like you said, that varies from reader to reader.
It does. It does. So, what does a typical session look like from the beginning to the end of it as well?
So for me, the beginning is going to start with sitting down with me. I take a few minutes to introduce myself. Then I like to join hands with a client while I'm calling in guides, angels, and all of that. And then from there, I'll ask what your questions are. If there's anything you'd like specific guidance on. And if there's nothing you'd like specific guidance on, I'll just start pulling some cards and see what the messages are and expand on them from there.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Here's an interesting one I like to ask. What role do you believe the client plays in their own healing or insight?
Oh, they are in total control because I can pull cards, I can give messages, but it's what they decide to do with that information afterwards that makes all the difference. Also understanding that 99% of the reading is based on 2 days energy and
Right.
what they are bringing to the table. So if we're closed off, the reading is going to feel closed off. But if we're willing to expand and share that common space, the reading is going to be even more magical.
Right. Yes. Come in open to receive, you guys, because really it makes a difference. It really makes a difference. I like this question too for you. I like all the questions. What would you say to somebody who feels nervous or unsure about booking their first reading?
There is really nothing to be afraid of. can talk through, like I said, there are some kind of scary cards in the deck. The 9, 10 of swords, the 3 of swords, the tower, the death card. If any of those come up, I'd really like to be able to walk someone through why this is happening,
Right.
what the what the core problem is.
Mhm.
And it's usually that we've been missing subtler cues that the universe has been giving us, and they finally had to make a federal case out of it because
Mm,
we just weren't understanding.
right.
So to be able to walk somebody through some of those cards. But then, there's also the joy of the sun card, the 10 of cups, the 10
Mhm.
of the 10 of pentacles, which are really happy cards.
Mhm.
So being able to get all of those messages out and through is just,
Yes. Yes. Gosh, I love what we do.
yeah.
What advice would you give someone who is going through a confusing or uncertain time in their life?
Number one, breathe.
Take a deep breath, guys. Deep breath.
Take a deep breath. If you can, get yourself outside. Just be present with yourself for a
Mhm.
few minutes. Because usually what happens is we get that thought or we get that situation and we're so programmed to instantly go negative and look at how it's not working out for us. But if we can step back, take a breath, ground ourselves, then we can start asking, okay, I understand this is happening to me, but what is also happening for me in this same situation?
Yes, yes.
How can I shift this to make this work for me?
Because guys, things aren't happening to you, they are always happening for you, whether it's good or bad, every time.
So that would be my advice. Get yourself able to take a deep breath, go stand out in the sun, just come back to center, however that works for the individual.
Okay. All right. What is one spiritual practice you personally use to stay balanced?
Gosh, I have so many. So for me, I meditate every morning before I come in. I go for a walk every morning. I bless and cleanse the room every morning, first thing when I come in. Um, those are really big, important parts of my spiritual hygiene. So that
Okay.
I'm making sure that my energy is coming in clean and well prepared for whoever's going to be coming in to see me for the day.
Okay. I love that. Nice little routine there for you. This is another favorite question of mine because I think we also went through this on the podcast as well. What is something you wish more people understood about psychic or intuitive work?
That it takes a lot of energy.
Yep, you are not the first person to say that.
Because not only are we holding space for the client, we're also managing the energy of the room. Those two things alone are already putting a strain on our systems.
Mhm.
And when people are closed off, then it feels like we've got to dig, we've got to push harder. That drains even more energy from us.
Mhm.
So instead of being able to just be open and receptive, it's like we're having to pull the information out, which just bogs down the energy and it blocks off the intuitive flow, at least
Mhm.
for me. It makes it harder to get the messages that need to be coming through.
Right. So, guys, again, be mindful of the energy because we use quite a bit of ours to get the messages you need for that point in time. So, just be nice to us, okay? God, just be nice. All we're trying to do is give you all messages, okay? Right? This is another favorite question of mine because I feel like everybody needs an answer, some type of advice with this. So, collectively, what message do you feel the collective itself needs to hear right now?
Even though things are extremely crazy in the outside world, what are you giving your attention to? Are you giving yourself permission to dream, to hope? Or are we so focused on all of the external factors and craziness that we're giving so much attention to that it's starting to mirror back in our personal lives?
Mhm.
Give yourself permission to dream. Give yourself permission to hope. because it's not a lost cause.
It's not. Things might not look great right now in the world, but things always need to get worse before they get better sometimes. So just hold on, guys. We're getting through it. We're getting through it. So now we're gonna get into like the fun and personal stuff. What's one thing most people don't know about you?
I was a truck driver for a short period of time.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a cross-country truck driver for 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, but the cool thing about that was how I got to see Arizona for the first time 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I decided then that if I ever got the chance to come back to Arizona to live, that was what I wanted to do. Next thing I know, 20 years later, here I am.
Ta-da! All right. Do you have a favorite crystal, tool, or ritual right now?
So my favorite crystal would have to be, it chose me. I did not choose it. My favorite tool right now, dowsing rods,
Yes.
because they're so much fun.
Uh-huh.
And it's really cool to be able to see when somebody asks a question, to be able to see them moving.
Right.
And I feel for me personally, it's more reliable than a pendulum per se. Yeah, dowsing rods, the tarot, the oracle, those are my absolute favorites.
Okay. All right. Now, I know this question you did a little research on for yourself yesterday. Because think of yourself as a superhero, okay?
Okay.
If your spiritual work had a theme song, what would it be?
I'm on top of the world by Imagine Dragon. And yes, I did. I agonized over.
Oh goodness. Really, guys, she did. She was doing some research. She was trying to make sure she picked the right song that her theme song would be. Okay. I love that. Oh gosh. I think I would have like a couple different songs. I think it would just depend on the day.
And
Really?
it really
Right?
does for me. But yesterday going into this, it's like when somebody walks away from a session with me, how do I want them to feel? And
Cool.
I'm on top of the world because it's not easy being human sometimes. School completely sucks. So you got to make the best of it.
I mean, we chose it though.
Through that. Through
We're like,
that.
yeah, just throw that in the contract too while you're at it. Screw it. We'll work with it, right? So besides the spiritual work that you do, what lights you up outside of your spiritual work?
Being out in nature, and there's so many beautiful places here in Sedona to explore. And some of them, even though they may not appear to be magical on the outside, take lots of pictures and then go back and look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have found some really cool things on film that I can't explain just by taking pictures of a tree.
Right, right, yeah.
So, yeah, that lights me up. Starting to do some paranormal investigating, and
Ooh,
that is super
interesting.
fun.
Watch out, guys. The new female ghost hunters are coming out. My goodness. Well, is there anything else you'd like the listeners to know about you or your sessions at all?
Just again, I try to meet people where they are. I try to give it exactly as I see it, but I'm always going to try to give that with compassion and gentleness again, because we just never know what somebody is really going through.
Right, right.
So
Okay.
to provide that space for them where they can just come and be as they are,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big deal.
Yes, very big deal. See, guys, a lot of the readers here have safe spaces. So when you're coming in, whether it's your first time, your 500th time, whatever, you are coming into a safe space with integrity, understanding, compassion. And everybody here is very go with the flow. So they're going to go with the flow, whether it's up, down, all around, sideways, all of that. So before we close out our session here, is there an intention you would like to leave for our listeners today?
I hope that the listeners are at peace. They're being mindful
Mhm,
of what
mhm.
they're thinking about, what their intentions are, and that we're all holding space for the changes that are coming through. They may suck for a little bit, but I really believe things are going to start getting better.
Oh, yeah, definitely, for sure. Well, thank you so much for that, Stephanie. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the Crystal Magic Psychic Center family as well. We love having you here. For those listening, you guys can book on the Crystal Magic Psychic Center website with Stephanie if that's something you're very interested in. On all of the readers' bios, there is all of the information as far as like what modalities they use, what their specialties are, and also when you're booking, there are other things that you can let the reader know prior as well if needed. So, guys, until next time and the next segment with the next reader, I'm MA. Stay grounded, stay open, and trust your path, guys. Have a good day.